बढ़ते हैं नैना, अब तो हमें साथी है।
Hi everyone. Now I have the honor of introducing to you today Dr. Akansha. And Dr. Akansha is a proud Damsonian. She has a rank 9 this year in the INI-CET exam. So Akansha, quickly tell me, how are you feeling right now?
Sir, I'm feeling ecstatic. I'm extremely happy, and I feel that all the hard work which I have put so far, it has come out to be true.
And do tell me about like the journey, like from when you were in your MBBS, and you were telling me
Yes,
that
sir.
you're from LTMC Science in Mumbai.
Yes, sir.
So did you imagine that one day you will be at rank 9 and all single digit rank in the INI CET exam?
No, no, sir. Even if somebody would have told me that you can crack INI-CET, go to AIMS or any other central institutes, I wouldn't have believed it. But right now, I think it's coming true.
And do tell me about, like, when you saw your result, and we were talking before we started the interview, and your mother and you were reading the result. What was, tell us about the emotions, because I think that can inspire a lot of other people also.
Yes, sir. So I got a message on my WhatsApp that results have come, and then I started searching for my roll number. So my roll number was on some 700th of page, and then I checked my roll number thrice, and my mother said that it's all India rank 9, and both of us we started crying. We were very happy, and then immediately I started calling my friends and all. They were all very happy.
And also tell me about your journey with DAMS. Like, you started your journey, I think, pretty early in DAMS. You have been a 3-year classroom student. Then I think you even
Yes, sir.
followed it up with a INI CET TND on the eMedicos app. So do tell me about the journey, and also tell me about the changes that you felt in yourself when, since you joined DAMS. Like, there would have been a pre-DAMS time where we were like not exposed to the kind of competition that is around, and then the DAMS classes and all those things. Please, tell us about that.
So I had joined DAMS in my pre-final year, and we used to have classes over weekends. And I used to go for the classes and prepare notes. So before going to DAMS, I used to study. I have been a topper throughout my college, but whatever I used to study, I never revised it because I couldn't consolidate the information. I knew that this topic is important, but in that topic, if I have to revise it in last 5 minutes, I wouldn't know that what are the key points which I have to highlight. So when I went to dance, and my first class was on physiology, so I understood that within a topic, what are the bullet points which you must focus on, how the examiners ask, what is their language of asking. That plays a very important role because in INI-CET we had a lot of one-liners. They seemed very easy, but they were tricky. So how to read in between the lines and how to approach a question. So that is something which I understood when I went to the classes. And the most important and most useful tool for me was the INI-CET TND, because after NEET got postponed, I had shifted my focus on INI-CET TND. I had purchased it, and I started watching the TND discussion videos. I couldn't watch all of them, but I watched the videos of all the final year subjects and short subjects, which were very good.
So also tell me about, like, this time the exam was a mix and match. Like, classically when we are looking at central institutes, we would think about more clinical, and but we had like one-liners also in this paper. But and a lot of people, some people thought paper was easy, some people thought it was tough, some thought moderate. What are your takes on it, and how many did you attempt in this year's paper?
Sir, I had attempted 188 questions, and I had left 12 questions. And those 12 questions which I had left were absolutely alien to me. And that had been my safe zone, which I had established through practicing a lot of grand tests, especially the mock test for INI CET. I had given the INI CET CBT also. So I realized it that instead of going into negative marking for some questions which are absolutely alien to me, in which I can't even come boil down to two options, it's better that I leave. So I attempted 188 questions, and even I was completely taken a bit by surprise because there were a lot of one-liners. And when you have a lot of one-liners, it becomes difficult because those are fact-based questions, and I didn't have that kind of approach for INI CET. So I have made silly mistakes. In fact, when I gave the exam and came back home, I told my friends that I have marked the answer for safe strategy wrong. They had asked the full form of safe strategy for trachoma, which I had marked wrong. A simple question like that I had marked wrong, and I thought that I am out of the race because of such silly mistakes which I have done.
But at the end of the day, you were able to do well. So I think everybody makes some mistakes, but it is about who makes the least amount of mistakes. So
Yes,
Akansha,
sir.
do tell us, like, what were you telling yourself when you were giving the exam? Like, there were match the following questions, more than one answer type, there were
Yes, sir.
images, and there were one-liners. And like, did you have a time management plan in hand when you were giving the exam?
Yes, sir. I had a time management plan, and all this how to attempt how to approach such questions. This is a habit which develops when you give a lot of grand tests. So I have given grand tests of multiple platform, including DAMS CBT, which I had given for INI CET. So when you give a lot of grand tests, you get an idea how to solve match the column, how to solve multiple option correct. And you have always been saying that if you can boil down to two options, then you should go and attempt for the question. So that is one basic rule which I had followed. So I simply left those 12 questions in which I couldn't rule out even two options. I was not sure. There was one question on what is the angle at which a needle should be pierced while you suture. And there were options 60 degree, 70 degree, 80 degree, 90 degree. And I couldn't even make a guesswork for that question. Either you know it or you don't know it. So I left that question. So that is one thing which I followed, that if you can rule out to two options, then you should attempt that question. And regarding the new pattern of questions, match the column and everything, it comes with a lot of practice with grand tests.
Akansha, you started early. So you started in third year with us and you started making notes. And later on, you did test and discussions. So do you think, if I can summarize your approach, it was in the initial part about, understanding the concept in the first 2, 3 years, making notes, and then you became a lot more test intensive towards the end. Was that the idea?
Yes, sir. So over before internship, my approach was to uh, go to classes or watch a particular video and understand the topic, the core concept, what is the topic revolving around, have an idea about the disease which I am studying. And when I started my internship, because I had cleared most of my concepts while I was doing during my MBBS days, I had cleared most of my concepts. So my main aim was to retain a lot of factual information and how to approach a particular question. And I started with grand test very early. So I always tell, if somebody asks me, the only test which tells you where you stand and how well your preparation is a grand test. And a grand test, not even subject wise test, not even Q bank will tell you where you stand with respect to your performance, because the exam will comprise of 19 subjects. So early grand test has to be started, and the frequency should be initially during first read. Grand test should be, you can give once a month grand test. And more important than giving grand test is the analysis of grand test. And when you analyze a grand test, it is better if you keep all the topics at one place. So I had made a box file, and in that I used to add A4 size sheets of subject wise. If I'm reviewing anatomy, then I used to write anatomy, a particular topic. Even anatomy I had subdivided, like embryology and histology I had subdivided. And from grand test, I used to add important points and put it in box file. So when I started revising before my exam days, the high yield stuff, I had my box file ready, which had all the important points and all my mistakes over the previous grand test, including the previous year papers, because for Central Institute exams, past year papers are very important. In fact, we had so many questions which were directly taken from the previous year papers this time.
And I think this is one of the more important points that I would want you to highlight also, that this time there were repeat topics as well as some repeat questions as well.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
think students should be looking at previous year's questions? Because I saw a lot of students had missed out on that strategy, that because INICET is a relatively new exam, so they were not looking at the AIMS and PGI papers of the past. Do you think they should look at least 1 or 2 years past papers?
Yes, sir. So for National Institute exam, you should go with 3 years of AIMS papers. So I had done AIMS papers from 2018. That included both the sessions. I have done PGI papers, the ones which are there on eMedico's app, and JIPMER papers I had done. And my approach to these past year questions was that first I used to solve those questions which had come. and do the topic which had come around it. For example, in radiology, they had asked on SPECT scan, and they had asked PET CT is a very favorite topic, and most of the radiology questions were integrated. So, but when we come to core radiology, they have asked questions on PET scan, susceptibility weighted MRI was there in INI, CET, TND, and so all these things will be covered once you do your previous year topics. You have to cover it in a topic wise manner. If they have asked microRNA, it means that microRNA is an important topic. They are going to ask it again. There were certain a little bit unusual paper was there because we didn't have question on trauma this year. We didn't have question. We usually have one question on tension pneumothorax. We have a question on burns. That was a bit unusual this time, but more or less, to get a good rank, the number of correct options which you need, the material which you should cover is there in the notes which you have made during your MBBS days. And to top of that, INI, CET, TND is very good, and past year papers, and not just solve the questions, but you should do everything which is present around that question. You should do it, and that is also given very well in the video solutions which eMedicos has. So I have solved my previous year papers with video solutions which is present on eMedicos app.
Akansha, did you also attend the DVT session and the AIMS capsule on the app, or the rapid revision courses like this on the app? Any of
Yes,
those
sir.
experience?
DVT I had seen. I couldn't watch much of DVT. I watched it. I watched the recorded sessions later in subjects which I was weak, and in subjects which had a lot of images like pathology and radiology. They had a lot of images. And sir, images are, it's easier said than done. In exam, the quality of images are not good. So it's very difficult to pick up that what exactly is the diagnosis. So one needs a lot of practice in image-based questions, cadaveric questions, and the new pattern questions. So DVT I have watched, and apart from that, AIMS capsule I couldn't watch much. But I mainly focused was on INI, CET, TND, because the TND was focused in such a way that they covered the approach to questions from JIPMER, PGI, as well as AIMS.
So I also wanted to know that, last year was very tough year for all of us, like with COVID and everything, and we are struggling with the floods in Mumbai, and I don't know what is happening to the world. So how did you manage the stress of the world? There is a stress of studies, but around you also the life would have been upside down. How did you manage this entire
So
year? How did you manage the mindset?
for that I should thank my mother and my friends who have been very supportive, and my juniors also who have really helped me in accumulating all the material. And whenever I would want something, any reference, I would put it on my group where we have 5-6 people from my college, which included juniors, and they would find it and let me know the correct answer for that. So my family, my mother, and my friends have been my biggest support system.
I'm sure, I think family and friends are the buffer zone that you need in such tough
Yes, sir.
situations. And, I would now want to dig a bit more deep into your preparation and everything, because there are people who would want to know this. Like, you attempted 188 in this year's
Yes,
exam,
sir.
and you have been, regular in giving grant tests and RAM CBT, INI CBT. You were giving, INI CT, TND also. And in the past also, you were giving class tests and QBank, everything. What kind of ranks were you getting in the grand test, so that other people would get an idea on where was Akansha in the CBTs, and where was she in the GTs, and now where is she?
Sir, so in last year in March I had started my internship, and with that COVID also came. So I took some time to settle in. But then in April I gave my first grand test, and I got a rank of 211 in that grand test. And in that grand test I had left around 40 questions. So the 211 rank which I secured in that grand test was on my knowledge of whatever I had built up in those 4 years. And I realized after that grand test that I will improve, because I have not yet finished my first reading. I've just finished my 2 subjects. And I understood the first few grand tests were basically building up endurance. The grand test which I used to give at that time used to have 300 questions because of the old NEET pattern. The pattern changed very recently, but before that, I used to give a grand test of 300 questions. So the initial grand test which I gave before I finished my first reading was more about building up the endurance to be able to sit over there and for 3 hours and attempt all the questions. And then after that, and the the approach to a question, like which question I should leave, how many questions should I leave, what is my safe zone. Because in INICET also I left 12 questions, and a lot of people told me that you have left a lot of questions, at least you could have attempted more. But I knew that it's a safe zone which I've established for myself over the so many grand tests which I've given. So I gave my first grand test in April 2020. After that, I used to give one grand test every month. And by the time in the month of September or October, I finished my first reading, I got a rank of 34 in the grand test which I gave subsequent to my first revision. And after that, my ranks have been consistently in top 20. I had given DAM CBT, the first DAM CBT I had given, which was held in the month of August. In that, my rank was 19. And I'd given INICET CBT, in which my rank was 57. After that, the INICET got postponed again for a month. So in that 1 month, I geared up my preparation because I thought that I can improve, and that is when I purchased the TND.
So, if I now say that, looking at your journey, it has been a fairly consistent journey. But do you think that when you started giving the grand test and when you started seeing your name in the leaderboards, top 50 ranks, top 20 ranks, CBT rank of great CBT rank that you got, did that give you confidence that you are on the right track? And do you think early grand test is a good idea? That because I want the topper to tell it to the students, because I know of many students who keep ignoring grand test and only doing Q bank. Can you highlight some parts to them?
Yes, sir. I used to feel happy that I'm consistently there in the leaderboard, but then grand tests are not actual. They are not the actual ranks which I have got in the exam. So that I always used to be a bit scared that okay, I'm getting good ranks in grand test, but I should be able to replicate that in the exams as well. And I can't emphasize how important it is to start a grand test very early, because when you give a grand test you will understand what are the important topics, and in that topic what is the manner in which a question is being asked. So every I and it's even I also used to get scared when every time before I used to sit for grand test, and after grand test also I used to discuss with my friends about the questions, because we didn't get results immediately. So it's very important that you start grand test early, you analyze it, you analyze your mistakes, you write them down, but you write them down at one place. So just before your exams, you should have only two sources from where you are reading. One is your original notes which you have made, and second, all these files where you have accumulated all your grand test mistakes and past year papers.
I think, two things that I think are very important that we can learn from Akansha is that she was always trying to improve from learning from mistakes. She had a wrong copy. She was always finding what is going wrong. And she never let anything go to her head. Even when she did something good on a GT, she said, okay, I'm doing well. Hold on, I will improve further. And I think, all this
Yes,
has
sir.
made her the winner that she is. So, Akansha,
Thank you, sir.
any like you have seen dams evolve also with the situation now. You were in a batch where we were totally face to face classes, and
Yes,
then
sir.
you were in a batch during the TND year in the internship where the COVID came and the things, you things were difficult for everybody. And then you saw the app evolve with the live classes, and then you did a INICET TND later on the app,
Yes,
and a
sir.
pure app course. So, how was your experience with the multitude of courses that you've done with DAMS?
So the experience is actually very good. For me, it is. I have preferred to sit at home and watch the videos. So all the TND which I had watched on eMedicos, I used to watch it at my own pace. So that is the biggest advantage of sitting at home and watching the videos on your tab. But then again, you have to be very disciplined with respect to it. The another advantage is that I would run the videos on 1.7x. So if it at a TND would usually be of 8 hours, and then whatever TND notes I'm making, I had to revise it the same day also. So I used to run those videos on 1.7x. So an 8 hour radiology TND, I finished it in 4.5 hours. And then I took a break, my lunch break, and then in the evening I revised whatever notes I had made from that TND. So it's very comfortable because of the videos which were already pre-recorded. Uh, yes, sir.
And do you think that you got the best of both the worlds? Like when you were in third year, you needed more discipline. You needed to be
Yes,
in a classroom, and you at that time the environment was very favorable for classroom. We were in the post pre-COVID area,
yes,
and
sir.
when you had less time, DAMS has had evolved to the app based, and so you got the best of both the worlds actually. So,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to know from you, like, when we look back, what do you think, what makes Akansha the winner that she is? We want to know a little bit about your mindset. Like, what do you tell yourself when you are, preparing, or when you are, there would have been times where you might not have felt positive, or, you might have thought ki nahi hoga, and all those things happens to everybody. But how did you manage to keep that calm and confidence going? Tell us more about it.
But I think it all comes with discipline, and I mean, you can stay motivated. This is something which I've learned from one of your motivational and mentorship sessions, that you can watch a video on YouTube and stay motivated for 2 or 3 days. But then, more important than that is discipline. And Deepti Bell ma'am had also said that the sacrifices which you're doing today and the comfort which you're giving up for today is for a better future. So these lines I cannot forget. So over not only just during my preparation phase, over the last 4.5 years of my MBBS, I've been very disciplined with respect to my studies. I have ensured that even if I have any college cultural program, I still used to come home and read something. I have a habit of reading. So at least read it for 30 minutes. And even during internship, if I had a hectic schedule, most of my internship was light. But if someday I had a very tiring day at work, I used to come home and I used to read for 30 minutes or see some important images or some important pearls I used to see. So it is that everyday effort counts, and it's not that you have read for 3 days, then 3 days you went into slumber. Because once you stop studying, then that's a vicious cycle. Then you stop studying. It's very difficult to get back. So discipline, I think, is the key, and you will study every day, and that is when we build up things. We don't know we are building up things, but eventually when you see the results and you look back, you have built up a huge amount of effort, and on top of that, information which is very high yield. So that is why I was saying that you review your grand test and you write down all your mistakes, and then you filter them out. If you have made a mistake 3 times, then you have to star mark it. If you have made a mistake once and then you have not made it second or third time, then you eliminate that, so that the number of things which you have to revise just a day before the exam is less. A day before the exam is extremely stressful because we think we don't remember anything and there are so many things which we have to revise. But that one book where I've written all the grand test mistakes and my mistakes over the previous year questions which I've solved is really something which has helped. And yes, starting grand test very early.
So, Akansha, on this note, I would also want you to say something motivating to future, aspirants, as well as any particular dams moment that you remember. Like, there must have been so many dams moment in the last 3 4 years, but any moment that you remember, either from the classroom or the app class, where you were like, wow.
Um, so I had it was Rajiv Dhawan sir's class in ENT. I used to sit with my friends in the last row, and Rajiv Dhawan sir used to make a lot of jokes, and we used to laugh on them. But the way he taught us laryngeal cancer. I can never forget the staging of laryngeal cancer because of him.
And any particular, message you want to give to the juniors, and any particular message you want to give to the future aspirants?
Yes, sir. I would just tell that you have to study every day. Even if you are very tired, you should have a habit of reading. Even 30 minutes, even if you are having a very bad day, you should open your phone and do your bookmark questions and everything. And early grand test, yes. These are the two suggestions which I would give to aspirants.
So awesome. It was great to meet you, Akansha. One final question: which branch will you pursue now, at after getting such a great rank?
Sir, MS General Surgery.
I'm sure you will get it in the any institute that you want to join. I think
Thank
this
you so
would
much,
end
sir.
your journey of this would end your journey of PG entrance and begin your journey of residency.
Yes, sir.
I wish you all the
Yes,
best,
sir.
and I'm sure we will hear a lot more about Akansha in future as a great surgeon as well. I wish you all the
Thank you
best.
so
Convey my regards and congratulations to your mother. God bless you, beta.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Bye.
Bye, beta. Bye.